welcome back to my channel. It's Danielle Diaz here at Dino Danielle Designs. Today we're going to be making a fabulous steampunk themed card. And I pulled from 3 different stamp sets. I used the Geared Up Garage, Soar Confidently, and Beautiful World. These 3 sets, along with the DSP that goes with the Beautiful World stamp set, make wonderful steampunk themed cards. The one we're going to be making today is right here. And I've actually done 2 different versions of this, just depending on your preference. This one is a little darker and has an embossed, used an embossed folder back here. And this one is lighter and did not have embossing. I also left this one a little lighter, and this one was a darker piece of DSP with some gold embossing. The insides are both the same. And both have a decorated envelope. This one is not embossed, and this one is embossed. For the project today, we are going to be embossing the backgrounds. If you do not like that step, you can go ahead and skip it and just leave it without the embossing. These are all the pieces you're going to be needing. So if you're not prepared yet, go ahead and pause, prepare, and then hit play. Let's go ahead and get started. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of clear our workspace a bit. We will need these 2 pieces, our envelope flap, and the rest of these can go off to the side. All right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our lace piece and we are going to color this in. I'm going to be using my dark basic black Stampin' Blends. And I'm going to color this on the side that's a little rougher. I found that the color sticks more on this side. And I'm not going to color this exact. I'm going to make sure it is all black, but I'm not going to worry about making sure the shade is the same throughout. I want it to be a little varied. I am going to forewarn you, you should be prepared to get inky today, because this project will definitely get your fingers inky. So just be prepared. In this piece I have gone over a couple times on my projects just to make it a little darker. When you initially go over it, it's going to look a little gray. And you can do as many layers as you'd like depending on your preference. If you would like to do another card alongside this, you could use this as a background stencil as you color it in. I thought of that after I had already designed these cards, so I didn't design one with this as a background. Alright, so let's let that dry a little bit, and then I'll decide if I want another layer. Let's go ahead and start the fun on these pieces here. So for one of them, I'm just going to do the corner pieces. One, I'm going to do the full background, and then my flap I'm going to do the full background on as well. So we're going to go ahead and use our blending brush. If you haven't seen these yet, these are amazing. It is not one big piece of foam, it is actually thousands of little bristles, which is so cool. When I first bought these, I almost didn't want to ink them up because I just wanted to touch them the whole time. They are so soft. We're going to be using soft suede, and we're going to be using this die cut piece here. Now what's great about this is I'm able to use it as a stencil, and then I can use this on another project. If you would like for this to stay a little more secure, you can use a little bit of glue dots on the back, but I actually don't mind it moving around. I like when it moves a little bit because then it changes the background. When I'm able to hold the pad, I do rub the pad in order to pick up ink, but since I'm going to be holding this down, then I end up padding. All right, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to start rubbing this in a circular motion over it. You can use as many layers as you'd like. You can get it as dark or light as you'd like it. This is one of my favorite things to do. So a little background on this card. I have seen the steampunk theme quite a bit in journaling. I haven't really seen many cards, and I had been wanting to create one, but just didn't have the sets. And this die set is about to retire, and I thought this would be the perfect time to try my hand at a steampunk card. And I really didn't know about the theme, so of course I turned to Google and found some of the elements that are included. And so I'll kind of explain how I picked the items that I chose. So of course gears are really big. So is lace, and particularly black lace. A lot of the journal pages that I saw had writing on it, so I thought this DSP piece looked really cool with it. Of course, the hot air balloon stamp that we're going to be using. Actually, I think it's it might not be just hot air, it might be helium. Here is some more gears, but I actually used the foam piece, and these are like a metallic. I used the gold foil here. You could also use the copper or the champagne color. These gilded gems I thought worked really well with the theme, as well as the corner embellishments and the little belt buckle. And this I thought was as close to leather as I could get. The only things that I wish we had that I would have liked to include is a top hat and goggles. Those are iconic pieces for steampunk. My mom is really into steampunk too, so I'm thinking of making her a Mother's Day card with this theme, or a framed piece of artwork. So keep a lookout for that. I'll be putting that on social media. And if you'd like to see any of my posts, I do have an Instagram. It's going to be at Dino Danielle Designs as well. If you would like the recipe cards to this project, or you need the list of supplies, that's going to be found on my blog, dinodanielledesigns.com. I have a goal to apply to be on the artisan team for next year, and so I'm really trying to make artistic cards, and I thought this definitely fit the bill there. Definitely an attainable goal, but I definitely need practice in making artistic cards, because those have not been the cards that I've been making recently. So I've kind of changed gears, pun totally intended. And I'm gonna be changing up the cards that I create. All right, there we go. Let's do a couple more here. All right, and then we'll do a couple more here as well. All right, so that looks good for that piece. We're gonna still come back to that, but let's put it off to the side for just a minute. Next, we're gonna be using Early Espresso. And we're gonna be using this stamp here that looks like an oil spill. And we're just gonna stamp this around our card. In no particular order. I think this would be a really cool DSP. And that's kind of what we're doing. We're kind of creating our own here. Okay, now we're going to be using this stamp next with Smoky Slate. And again, just stamping around. I'm actually surprised that there wasn't a gear stamp. Okay, that looks good. Next up, we're gonna get some water and we're gonna make some pretty large drips on our page. And we are going to let them take their time and really seep into the paper. I really love how it looks as it's starting to spread. You want to do this pretty quickly. If you let your paper dry a little too much, then it won't pull the ink as much. And then as soon as you like the way it looks, go ahead and take a paper towel, place it right over, and then pick up that excess water. And as you can see, my nails are already very inky. So you might not want to do this if you have a fresh manicure. Wait until you're about to get your nails done again. All right, look how cool that is. And I love how you almost get a rainbow effect from the ink as it dispersed. Isn't that really cool? Okay. So let's go ahead and do our next one. So on this piece here, this is going to be the insert. And so I don't want to completely fill the background because I want people to be able to write inside it. So if you look at our sample here, I just did the left corner and the bottom right corner. So we're going to do the same on this one. So bring back our soft suede. And same thing, just go in circular motions. This seems to work the best. If you're not going to use the piece again, you could also use the full sticky Post-its and cut out your die cut from there. That way you don't have to worry about it moving and holding it down as much. I find this a little more fun though. But I am definitely not bothered with getting messy. So it really is up to what you can handle. All right, so there's that corner there. This one is gonna go, let's go kind of up the side. I love how varied my stencil piece looks. I can't wait to use that on a card too. All right, there we go. We're still gonna need that piece for our flap. Let's go ahead and do our other 2 steps on this card. So early espresso, oil spill, there we are. And I'm still trying to decide if I want to emboss it or not. I did say we were going to, but I like it both ways. All right, let's get our water. There we go, let it seep in. All right, that should be good. I'll take my paper towel. There we go. All right, last piece. Same process. Soft suede. And our base card is Crumb Cake, and this is one of my favorite papers, and the reason why I chose it is because you can see the fibers in the paper, and I think it just adds a little flair to this card. With Steampunk, it is normally post-apocalypse, and so you see some steam engines again, and you're seeing these gears. So it's almost, even though it's in the future, it's almost like going back in time with the transportation systems that they're using, which is really fascinating. But I thought that's why the fiber and the paper looked really cool, because it almost looks like, you know, old school paper that you would make. Which, by the way, is super fun. I used to make paper in elementary school, and I'm a teacher now, and I've never done it with my students, but I really want to try it next year. I think they'd enjoy it too. All right, and you can see how that kind of moved, but I really like how that looks. We are finally done with this piece, so I'm gonna put it off to the side completely. Let's finish up our flap with our last few steps. Bring out that early espresso again and the oil spills. I hope you enjoy this card. If you like this design, please like this video, subscribe, and share it with your friends and family. I love designing fun cards, and if you decide to case it, make sure you tag me on social media at Dino Danielle or at Dino Danielle Designs. I'd love to see your projects and feature you on my story. Okay, ooh, I almost forgot the water in this one. That's like the best part. All right, I think we are gonna go ahead and emboss. But I'm just gonna emboss the front. I'm not gonna do the envelope flap. And definitely not the insert, or that would make it very difficult to write on. So I'm gonna be using this one here. And you can kind of already tell that I already used one before. So it is gonna get ink on this because we're not letting it fully dry. If you don't want it to get on your embossing folder, you can let it dry completely. Or you can just wipe it off of this after. I'm going to go ahead and do this off to the side just so I don't shake the table. So I'm going to place this in here. And you can always tell the front of your embossing folder with the Stampin' Up logo up front. All right, are you ready to see it? Ta-da! Look how cool that looks. Oh, I wish you all could feel this. This is such a fun texture. So fun. All right, let's go ahead and do a little bit more stamping. We need this piece of DSP here, and we need our envelope as well. We're gonna go ahead and stamp our hot air balloon. And we're gonna be using, let's see, did I use Early Espresso or did I use Memento ink? Let me pull out. Let's see, it looks like I used Early Espresso on the original and Memento on the second one. Let's go ahead and use Memento because I do want to include some blending on top. All right, so Tuxedo Black. And where did my balloon go? We just had it out. Aha, there you are. Okay, here we go. We're gonna ink this up really good. Stamp it right on our DSP. I think that looks really cool. And then we're also gonna stamp our greeting. Life's a beautiful journey. All right, let's see. I should have stamped the balloon a little higher. Let's see if I have room. Awesome, just barely. Oops, I still need that. All right, there we go. So while we let this dry a tad, let's go ahead and finish up our envelope flap and then get our insert in our card. And if you follow me, you know that I always like to decorate the envelope. I like for the recipient of my cards to get a glimpse at what the card is going to look like. And this is so simple to do. You just add it to the flap, trim off the excess. Easy as pie. Don't actually know if that saying is accurate. I've never made pie, so I don't know if it is easy. Whoa, look at my fingernails on this side. Like I said, you're gonna get very inky. All right, let's go ahead and place the insert in. And we're just using Stampin' Silk. All right. There we are. Fun inside. All right, before we place this one on, we do have a few layers to add. We are going to first add our ribbon piece here. And I want it about, I'd say 2/3 of the way down. So just go ahead and add some adhesive there. Cover it right up. And then add, oop, nope, don't add it in the back yet. We almost forgot our buckle. Can't forget that piece. All right, there we go. Now go ahead and add some to the back. You can really see that texture on the back of it. All right. It's a little crooked, so let me fix that up a little bit. There we are. Now we're going to decide if our lace piece is dark enough, and I think that'll look just fine. So I'm going to place this right on top here. And we're going to use our Tombow, but we're going to use this bottom end. I wanted to start using this on my videos because I actually just recently discovered this on someone else's video. I always thought this end was to refill it. I had no idea it had an applicator on this side. So I thought I'd share that with you all as well so that you know. And this is great for like these lacy pieces because you can kind of squeeze that a little bit and then rub it across. There we go. Such a cool piece. All right. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our gears. And for this one, you probably will need your take your pick tool because some of these pieces do need to be popped out. So go ahead and just pull that out. And then all you're going to do is punch out all these extra pieces here. For some of them you can just pull it from the back, but some of them you're not able to. So just punch, punch. Find it helpful to just punch out as many as I can and then look at the back and take them out. And they are going to be very sticky. I'm really sad that this die set is retiring. I think it is so cool. There are some really cool new sets though. I'm very excited. And for those of you that are subscribed to Paper Pumpkin, don't forget to check out my Paper Pumpkin videos. Every month I will post one with a blog post. My goal is to use up all the extra pieces that come in the set. So I'll make all the cards or the projects that it is intended for. And then there's always extra pieces. And in my previous kits, I would just put them to the side, you know, saying I was going to use them in the future, and then I never would. And then I ended up just with way too many. So I decided this time, every month, I need to use them up right away. As soon as I have the kit, I have to use up all the pieces. That way I'm not just hoarding pieces that I never use. All right, I think we have all the pieces out. Oh no, I lied, we have 2 more. Come on. There we go. All right, now we're ready. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and place this one a little off to the left. We still want to see that lace piece in the back. But I just love how the foam adhesive popped this entire piece up. When I showed my mom the original card, she thought that this was an actual metal piece. She thought it was a metal embellishment, which, by the way, would be fantastic if we could have embellishments this big. That would be so cool. All right, so we are ready to attach this to our card. I'm going to go ahead and just use some Stampin' Seal in the back of this. Oops. Don't know why it does that sometimes. And I do want to add plenty to this card because it is pretty thick. All right, let's go ahead and place this on the front. There we are. All right, let's use some glue dots for our 2 corner pieces. If you want to use all 4, you can. I really liked how it looked with just 2. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and add some color to this piece. It should be plenty dry. And I am doing this before I fussy cut them out, just so that it's easier to hold. So I'm going to do this on the sentiment first. And I'm going to add a little bit of red to our balloon. I'm going to be using Light's Cherry Cobbler blend. And I'm going to do my best to fill in some of these lines here. All the balloons that I saw on any sort of steampunk journal page, picture, video, the balloon was partially red. I'm not sure why that is. I'll have to do some further research on that. If you know why, drop that in the comments, let me know. And if you're a big buff on steampunk, Give me some more ideas for other cards, like other elements that I could include on it. I did my best, but of course there's always more research that can be done. And I'm sure there was other ways that I could have made this that were a little more on theme. Alright, so then we're going to go ahead and just add some more color. It'll make the red a little less vibrant. Alright, I think that looks good. Let's go ahead and fussy cut these out and then we can finish up our card. And I did cut these close to the line. I did not include a border. There we are. And we'll do our last piece here. If you haven't watched my videos, you wouldn't know that I like to cut out my sentiments just like this. I especially like the sentiments that have two different types of font. I think it makes the sentiment really pop. And usually the font goes along with the theme. It's like the word beautiful here is almost enunciated with that cursive writing. The font that they chose was beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead and add these on here. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna add some adhesive to the back of this. I just put a few rolls across and then place this right on top. And then, let's see, sometimes when I place it I need a dimensional, but I think for this one we probably don't need one. So we'll just add some adhesive to the back of this. All right, almost done. Let's go ahead and add our gilded gems. I'm using the Take Your Pick tool, which usually works really well, but today is not picking them up. There we are. There we go. And voila, we are done with our steampunk card. What do you think? I hope you like it. I worked really hard in designing this card. I think it came out really cool, but let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope to see you soon. Happy crafting.